We're back! Today I'd like to talk about the Mario soundtracks. I was initially going to do this back in 2020 when this was when it was Mario's 25th or 35th anniversary. But then I did get around to doing it, and now I am. It's almost become a generic saying to say that the Mario games have good soundtracks, but they do. Every single one has at least a good soundtrack. On this list, I will have you know that none of these soundtracks were bad, but this is just my experiences going through back each one of the Mario soundtracks. Disclaimer, I am only talking about the mainline Mario soundtracks, and I am grouping in the new Super Mario Bros. Series. I'm grouping that in as one soundtrack, okay? That might sound crazy, but here's the thing. If I grouped each one individually, then I would be saying stuff like,
oh, they sound really similar.
And similar, because the soundtracks do sound similar, but honestly, I think it just makes more sense to group them together because the games are so similar. They're not really trying to be very different from each other, so I think it just makes more sense just to group them in as one piece. Does that make sense? I don't know. Let's just jump into it, starting off with Super Mario Bros. In 1985. Super Mario... The original Super Mario Bros. Soundtrack is good. Here's the thing about the original Super Mario Bros. Soundtrack. It's like some of the songs are just so iconic. Specifically, the World 1-1 theme. That is like that's gotta be one of the most iconic songs in all of gaming. But the thing about it is that there are 14 songs on that soundtrack, and I can only remember 4 of them. The World 1-1 song, the World 1-2 song, Bowser's Castle theme, and the water level theme. The thing about the other songs on the soundtrack is that they're not necessarily bad, they're just forgettable. I just don't remember all of the songs on this soundtrack. Those are the 3 ones I mainly remember. But those 4 songs, in credit, they're all pretty good, especially the underwater theme one. I really like that song. So, in interest of fairness, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Super Mario Bros. 2 is what I wanted Super Mario Bros. 1 to be, soundtrack-wise. There's a couple more songs, there's around 20 songs, but they're all so much more memorable than the original. Also, something I didn't mention is that the sound quality for the original Super Mario Bros. Isn't the best. I know that's just something with the NES games, but it has this like twang to it that I'm just really not a fan of. But Super Mario Bros. 2 has a much clearer sound, and I really appreciate that. The songs are much more memorable. They all deserve at least a good foot thumping, and it's just generally a big improvement. I give it an 8 out of 10. Super Mario Bros. 3 was actually kind of disappointing. I know people adore this game, but in my experience, I didn't think the soundtrack was actually that great. It has something like 30 songs, which is very impressive for an NES game. But at the same time, I can only remember one of those songs, or there was 2 songs that I liked. One was like the snow theme, I think, and the other one was the like World 1-1 theme. None of the songs on that soundtrack were bad. I don't ever remember, except for one. I forget what it was, but there was one song that was really, really bad, and I didn't like it at all. But other than that, there's like no songs I remember off that soundtrack, except for the 3 I previously mentioned. But anyway, I just don't think it's that great. I'm sorry. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Moving on. The Super Mario Land soundtrack is so underrated. Super Mario Land in general is just a really underrated Mario game. But the soundtrack is surprisingly good. Hey, Editor Sam here. I don't know what that was. The world The World 1-1 theme is actually really catchy. The ending theme is fantastic. Daisy's theme is fantastic. The one that sounds like Chinese, even though I'm probably like racist for thinking that, but it just sounds Chinese for me. Whatever. Editor Sam here. I'm stupid, aren't I? It was just a very pleasant surprise. I really did enjoy it, and it's good. Super Mario Land 2 soundtrack, on the other hand, was a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping it would also surprise me, as Super Mario Land 2, The 6 Golden Coins, is a Mario game that's barely ever talked about. Everyone talks about how Super Mario Galaxy 2 wasn't in that September Mario 35th Anniversary Direct, but Super Mario Land 2, The 6 Golden Coins also wasn't, and no one talks about that. How can they not talk about it? Anyway, the soundtrack and Super Mario Land 2 was just not up to snuff. I'm sorry. And like I said, none of the songs were actually bad this time. They were just all pretty forgettable, except the Moon theme. I adore the Moon theme. It was legitimately fantastic. I have it saved into my music playlist because it's just so good. It sounds like a waltz almost. I just like it. Anyway, moving on. Super Mario World is the magnum opus of the 2D Mario games. That doesn't necessarily mean it has the best soundtrack. I think Super Mario Land has the best out of the original 2D Mario games. But Super Mario World has a very respectable soundtrack. There's a lot of things they did to spice the Super Mario Land soundtrack up. First of all, the iconic method of having there's only a couple actual melodies on the soundtrack, but there's 40 songs because they keep on remixing those same melodies in a ton of different ways, which is awesome. I'm destroying my pen. That feature was really cool, but also the melodies were just a huge improvement from Super Mario Land 3, I'll tell you that. Not Super Mario Land 3, Super Mario Brothers 3. Stupid, got dumb brain. Anyway, Super Mario World. Good soundtrack. Super Mario 64 has a way better soundtrack than I remember. I wasn't expecting that much from the Super Mario 64 soundtrack, other than like Slider, but it actually surprised me with quite a few good tunes that I don't remember. Dire Dire Docks is iconic, of course. The ending theme is really, really good. A lot of the themes that just happen like in cutscenes, like the opening cutscene and like the ending cutscenes, are quite good. In general, it just has good music all around. I give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed the Super Mario 64 soundtrack. The Super Mario Sunshine soundtrack had a lot of personality, I'll give it that. Like with the rest of the game, they try to give it this tropical island feel, and they succeed with that, but I don't remember a lot from the soundtrack. This soundtrack is an hour long, and out of that hour of music, there's a couple songs that stand out, but a lot of the time, I just don't remember a lot of the songs from the soundtrack, which is a problem. I want to remember them because, like, the instrumentation with a lot of these songs is really interesting. They try to do a ton to spice it up, but the melodies, man, they're just not catching me as much, and that's sad because it's Super Mario Sunshine. It's so fun. Hey guys, Editor Sam here, back again. I just wanted to say that I've come more around to the Super Mario Sunshine soundtrack since I recorded this, and I actually like it more now than I did when I was recording this. So for any of the Super Mario Sunshine lovers out there, you have that. Yeah. Anyway, I give Super Mario Sunshine a sun.
My son.
Out of 10. Super Mario Galaxy. It's 10 out of 10. What do you want me to say? The Super Mario Galaxy soundtrack is just phenomenal. Like, what can I say? Like, it's just good. Okay? It's just good. Super Mario Galaxy 2. It's not as good, but I love it. It's still fantastic, but it's not as good. I'm sorry. Super Mario 3D Land has the most generic Mario soundtrack out of any of these soundtracks. Like, I remember nothing off this soundtrack. It's so generic. Except for the opening theme. I really like that. But other than that, there's nothing that sticks out, like, about it from me. Which is too bad, because that's often an often criticism of Super Mario 3D Land, is that it's just, like, generic. But I wanted it to prove me wrong, and it didn't, which was too bad. But whatever. Hey guys, Editor Sam here, back again. I just want to say that my opinion has slightly changed since I made this video, and I do like and appreciate the Super Mario 3D Land soundtrack more than I did when I recorded this video. Felt like I was just being a bit too harsh here. So yeah. Super Mario 3D World, on the other hand, oh boy. It's good. Super Mario Odyssey has a ton of really high highs, but also has very forgettable lows. Of course, none of the songs are bad on the soundtrack, once again, but just like a lot of my other criticisms, in a lot of ways they just end up being forgettable. Anyway, there's some really good songs on the soundtrack. They're really good, but then, like, there's only like 4 songs, and then, like, it's a 60-song soundtrack. All the rest of the songs are, like, not as good. I just wanted more bangers, which is why I give Super Mario Odyssey an 8.5 out of 10. Here's the biggest surprise of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Comedy night, circa 2017. The new Super Mario Bros. Series has a fantastic soundtrack. What? I never really thought too hard about this, but looking back on all the 4 new Super Mario Bros. Games, they all have fantastic soundtracks, and when you're listening to them all in one string, sure, they do, like, they all have similar sound, and it can get, like, sound kind of repetitive, but overall, like, some songs on here, man, I just was not expecting. And they sound good, and the melodies are fantastic, and it was just a joy to go through the entire new Super Mario Bros. Series. You know, with Super Mario games, you usually have like you should have the 3 main soundtracks that people say are the best ones: Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Galaxy 2. But the Super Mario series, new Super Mario Bros. Series, floats under the radar sometimes, and I think it deserves more respect because it was good. And here's where we get to the part where we rank all of the soundtracks. Yeah. We're down here now. Starting off Starting us off with the ranking would be Super Mario 3D Land in last place. It just wasn't very inspired, and even though it definitely wasn't bad, it wasn't that great either. Next up, we have the most controversial pick, Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Bros. 3 gets a 3 out of 6. Next up, we have Land 2. Nothing really just spoke to me about this one, so we'll put it down here at the bottom, except for the moon theme. I like that one. Moon theme, can we get a moon theme, please?
Top 10 boys.
Next up, we have the original Super Mario Brothers. It's good. It's good.
Game of the year.
Next up, we have Super Mario Brothers 2. It's better than Super Mario Brothers 1. Hooray!
Funny.
Next up, we have Super Mario World. It's really good. It's pretty good. I like it. It's good.
There's a dead guy in the pool.
Wait, I missed one. Let's rewind the clock to before I talked about Super Mario World. The Sunshine. Sunshine is the actual one I was supposed to talk about. This is a mess. Sunshine does a lot of things, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily the best at doing all of those things, but it definitely gets an A for effort, and also an A for assets.
Assets.
Now we get to the big boys, Odyssey. That was my rendition of New Donk City. If you want to die, me too. Anyway, Odyssey is good.
My theory was correct. It's tall.
Next up, we have Land, as in Super Mario Land. It's fun. It's surprising. It's good.
The Pope.
Next up, we have Brew? New! Good on you, new Super Mario Brothers. You had a pretty good soundtrack. New Super Mario Brothers!
Lawnmower Man 2. Joe's War.
Next up, we have 64. What can I say about 64? It's just really solid.
Cobra Kai Season 3.
Next up, we have 3D World, or as I put it in my notes, 3D Word. I love jazz, so of course I loved 3D World. It was big band jazz music. It was awesome.
The bestest one of all.
Then we have a tie for first place, or not really a tie. I still think one of them is better than the other, but I can't choose. And that's the two Galaxy games. They're at the top. I don't know what else to say. They're just at the top. I can't put one other than the other. Even though I think Galaxy 1 has better music, Galaxy 2 also has better music. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, that was my Mario tier list. Thank you for watching. This video was probably bad.